How is it going?
May you find the order you seek. The whole reason I joined the Order was to get away from factory model thinking.
Strangers welcome. Just don't make any speeches.
Local hops, all you want for a day.
I'll let you know.
Alex D. A welcome encounter.
How's the search coming?
I've made some discoveries. I think that you've brought me to the right place.
What's the passenger's name?
My instructions forbid me to say.
Maybe I could help if I knew who it was.
You've been very helpful already. My computer analyzed the transceiver in your temporal bone and found some interesting data files.
Those are encrypted files.
I found the key some time ago. I will be using your eyes and ears to gather more data. As compensation, if you need a pilot for any reason, I will be available.
I'll check back when I need a pilot.
Alex D., you're the last one to arrive. I suppose that, like the others, you're after my laboratory in the gateway to J.C. Denton.
Go Tracer Tong.
I see that Dr. Nassif didn't exaggerate about your mental acuity. Yes, I'm Tong. I suppose you would be wanting some answers. You may have already guessed that your true name is Alex Denton.
Dr. Nassif was telling the truth. I'm a clone of J.C. Denton.
With a few postnatal recombinations, yes. But our work has moved away from clones.
So this gateway, I can use it to find J.C. Denton?
Yes. Beneath the ruins of the Black Gate, JC constructed a portal to his secret base in Antarctica. Only descendants of the Denton cell line can go through. However, the facility is already in the hands of the Templars.
Did the Templars use the portal? How could they unless one of the other trainees...
Unless the Templars have already convinced one of you to go through the gate and murder JC. Exactly. At a minimum, they have a highly placed spy who has torn apart our organization, starting with Chicago.
What else do you know about this spy?
Whoever it is also helped the Templars kidnap Her Holiness during a meeting with the Panzerworks Union. They are holding her at the Blackgate Laboratory. I'm going to give you a code to a secret entrance, which is in a room on the second floor of the East Tower, 2521. Look for a keypad hidden behind some crates.
For all you know, I'm a Templar myself.
Then Apostle Corps has already lost everything. Rescue Her Holiness. Save the summit for the sake of both factions. They will help you against the Templars. You will need the help of the WTO and Order just a little while longer.
I understand.
Here's something to give you an edge. A biomod infusion. It isn't much, but it's all I managed to grab on my way out of the laboratory. The time is coming when you will have to choose sides, Alex. Be careful of the other trainees. They won't necessarily see things the way you do. All of our secrets are contained in the cells of your body, but no one will be able to make use of them without JC's help. During the collapse, JC had little choice other than exile. The merger with the Helios AI was unstable. He needed a safe place to retire, where we developed a more compatible biomod architecture. I'm curious about what you will find in the laboratory. Perhaps Her Holiness has learned something about the Templar plans. The time is coming when you will have to choose sides, Alex. Be careful of the other trainees. They won't necessarily see things the way you do.
Onward, Order soldiers. If Her Holiness thinks she can put us all into a great pre-collapse wealth-making machine, she must think she's a god.
You sure you're locked up?
Noah Guevara has been in my family for 3 generations. I've been locking up since I was a boy.
I told you, those weapon mods are stolen. They don't belong in a display case on the side of the road.
The last place the sorties will look is the Noah Guevara shop. I am a respected businessman.
I'll just be glad when we can make the drop for the Omar.
You must be in town for the summit.
We're having a private conversation.
I have lived here all my life. Trier has seen a lot of history, but nothing like this.
Hey, back off.
I guess Her Holiness and Champion Dumier think that if they can make peace in Trier, they can make peace anywhere.
Local hops, all you want for a day.
I'll let you know.
Local hops, all you want for a day.
I guess that's a fair price. Here you go.
Where you headed?
Stay right here. I'll let you know.
My chopper is ready when you are.
I already put down the money for Sid Black, the Harrier pilot.
Very well. Use the Englishman this time. But in the future, remember that I'm at your service.
Your business is with the trader.
Yes. It appears Kerzak has found us another customer.
Yeah, he told me where to find you.
And the Amar are grateful to you for your help in avoiding the Templar raid in Cairo.
I did what I had to do.
You will appreciate our merchandise. You are a welcome customer, having helped us in the past.
What are you selling?
I have a black market biomod canister. Enables non-piezochem functionality. If you choose this item, we will direct you to a drop site for it after you have paid. Or you could take 3 scrambler grenades which produce viral electronic transmission that affect bots and temporarily switches their alliances. And I also have 5 multi-tools used to bypass security devices like keypads, cameras and turrets, and to pick locks. As a preferred customer, you may purchase items at half market price.
I'll take the multi-tools.
An excellent exchange.
I provide defense should the need arise. Traders handle the business.
This is just my day job.
Meanwhile, we have been accused of theft, which is ridiculous.
We were only following Luminon Samon's directives. We had no idea it would come to this.
Chairman Dumier of the WTO here. So you found that old fool Tristan Tong? I would like to know what you were talking about. Please report to the Trier SSC station.
Trier's just been a circus lately.
I heard that some of the striking workers broke into a meeting and kidnapped Her Holiness. Can you believe it?
Mr. Dumier will remain in the protected compartment for his own safety. It's true that SSC's performance so far has been less than adequate.
I talked to Tracer Tong. He says that Her Holiness is being held by the Templars.
Interesting. Is he sure? We've noticed some Templar activity on the north side of town.
The Apostle Corps laboratory is underneath the Black Gate. That's where she's being held.
I'm glad you are willing to betray Tong's confidence.
He said I should get your help. Perhaps we all have a common enemy now.
Not likely. Tong always has an ulterior motive, at least where I am concerned. You have my authority to attempt to arrest you, but stay away from that old fool. He will lure you into the criminal underworld.
I'll keep that in mind.
Here's a key to the gate in the courtyard. Like I said, the facility is on the north side of the city. If anything happens to Her Holiness, I don't want to imagine what will become of the older church. Whatever its shortcomings, the church has at least brought stability to a large part of the world. I was the one who convinced her it was time for a summit. Ultimately, I'm to blame. They better not hurt that woman. Mark my words.
I heard about you guys. Some sort of special ops unit, I guess.
Until further notice, Mr. Dumier will conduct business only from behind a secure barrier.
I just wanted to give those border freaks what they deserve.
Watch it, you're gonna hurt someone.
By now, I must be applying for a promotion.
This kidnapping has had a grave effect on Chairman Dumier.
I heard that some of the striking workers broke into a meeting and kidnapped her.
Sorry, no access to the Black Gate without the proper clearance.
I talked to Chairman Dumier, and he gave me the key.
Then you're cleared to pass.
Anomaly threat identified. Disturbance out of range. Unacceptable. Plans dismissed.
ready for you.
Hey.
Are you Her Holiness? It's strange seeing you as just another person.
Yes, I'm just another ordinary human being like you. My name is Nicolette Duclair.
Chairman Dumier, the leader of your opposition, has taken a special interest in your safety.
The WTO wishes no harm to come to Her Holiness. This summit was to be an opportunity to soothe the tensions between our organizations and to root out the extremists causing trouble in Trier.
I'm impressed that you would protect the leader of your adversaries.
It's okay, Chief Morgan. We can tell him the truth.
The truth?
Alex, the WTO and Order are not as they seem. They are but different faces of the same organization, the Illuminati, an ancient secret society to which Chad and I are the heirs. My mother was the Illuminatus Beth Duclair. The WTO and Order are merely the tools Chad and I are presently using to elevate humanity to the next level.
I know, it's overwhelming. I've dedicated myself to the WTO only to find out it's just a myth they created.
If the WTO and Order aren't actually opposing entities, then what's the point of this summit?
The real opposition right now comes from the Templars, the militant anti-biomodification group. The summit was only a cover to justify our public presence in Trier. Our true goal was to investigate rumors of a Templar splinter cell within the Order.
And what did you find?
With the help of Agent Morgan, I learned that Lumenon Saman is the traitor. He has converted most of the Trier Shard to his extremist views, incited the riots, and has been stealing equipment from the Panzerworks factory.
Saman? He's behind this?
Yes, everything. My kidnapping, the disabling of the gate. He's taken a critical component from it, the sequencing module, to the Order Church in Rockstadt, where his group is headquartered. Once you get that module from him, you'll be able to use the gate.
Thank God she's all right. Good work. My people will secure the facility. In the meantime, we should follow up on what Her Holiness learned about Lumenon Saman. Go to the tavern and hire a pilot. If you would like a map of Saman's compound, report to the SSC station on your way across town.
Mr. Dumier sent me to safeguard Miss Duclair's return.
She's all yours.
Thank you. I will be assuming command of this facility. Your presence is no longer required.
Now that you know the WTO isn't what it seems, what are you going to do? Leave the organization?
I don't know. I'm still reeling from the shock. But somehow it's starting to make sense now.
Can you forgive them?
It does make me uneasy, finding out it's all a front. But I can also see what the Illuminati are trying to accomplish and why they must work in secret. I'll probably continue publicly working for the WTO, but with a new awareness of its true importance.
Report to Mr. Dumier.
I don't know what I'll finally decide about the WTO, but it's hard to pass up a chance to play a role in...
Leave me.
Perhaps this is my destiny, to join the Illuminati in their endeavors.
Report to Mr. Dumier.
It just seems too surreal, that the WTO and Order were fictions all along.
Leave me.
This changes everything. It just seems too surreal.
Your presence is no longer required.
Perhaps this is my destiny, to join the Illuminati in their endeavors.
The WTO and Order are actually two branches of the same organization?
Precisely. We could never leave humanity as one monolithic force, at least not initially. The Illuminati have always worked in secret, and the WTO and Order are just two of our present facades.
But people dedicate their lives to these causes, and it turns out they're just your pawns?
Not at all. We are humankind's servants, not their puppeteers. We knew that human society could not respond to a single voice, so we engineered these organizations. With these fronts, we can optimally lead civilization toward a bright future.
Leave me.
Saman really is a Templar?
Unfortunately, yes. He has taken the Order's respect for nature and warped it into fanaticism. His quest for purity is just a euphemism for the extermination of modified individuals.
Surely the Illuminati can deal with a few crackpots.
Don't underestimate the Templars. Saman has amassed a great deal of support and resources for his cause.
Report to Mr. Jimmy.
When were you planning on telling the public about the WTO and Order connections?
When the time is right. Right now, the general populace simply isn't ready for this kind of information. At this stage, we're only telling select individuals in the higher echelons of each organization.
Then why are you confiding this in me?
Because you're an extraordinary creation, Alex. We've been watching your progress for a long time, waiting for this moment.
Leave me.
We work in secret only because it best serves our purpose. In time, humankind will understand and thank us. My family has a long history with the Illuminati. You might say the same of your bloodlines as well.
Leave me.
In time, it will all become clear. We want to bring
Your presence is no longer required.
We work in secret only because it best serves our purpose. In time, it will all become clear.
This changes everything.
Your presence is no longer required. Leave me. Report to Mr. Jimmy A.
I think these Templars are itching for a war. I've seen terrorist groups before. They lay out a lot of money for weapons, but they don't have any depth. They run out of food, ammo, morale, and then poof, they're gone. You need an economic base to run a war. Economics. That's why the WTO will always be on top. I think these Templars are itching for a war.
Nothing to see here. Everything's under control.
Your followers haven't expelled you yet?
Word is leaking out that Her Holiness and I have been secretly working together. I think we can spin that into diplomatic ties.
Or private negotiations. How does that sound, darling?
No need for people to have the perception that we started these organizations for some other purpose.
Unless somebody tells them.
I could tell them myself. They would think it was the same old story. The Illuminati secretly controlling the world. Who? Some might believe it, but everybody else would laugh in my face.
People want to believe certain things about their leaders. That's always been our key to power.
You said you had a map of the Templar compound.
Yes, of course. Here you are. Find the sequencing module. Go through the gateway to JC Sanctuary. We have our own interest in protecting JC Denton from the Templars.
I would think that you and Apostle Corps would be bitter enemies.
We are, but first the clam must give up its pearl. Good luck, Special Agent Denton. We will call on you when the time comes. In case you need a pilot to take you to the compound, the Nine Worlds Tavern is a good place to hire one.
That was a pretty low trick you played on the world, taking advantage of the collapse to seize power, and then deceiving people with a phony conflict between business and idealism?
No society is without this conflict. Our intention is to develop both principles and then integrate them into an open, secular society.
One puppeted by the Illuminati.
Our work has always done more good than harm. The collapse would have been far more devastating if Chad and I hadn't served the memory of my mother and of my family's history by rebuilding the Illuminati organization, which was nearly destroyed by MJ-12.
There was a time when we were the rebels. The older generation had failed us in so many ways. But now we see that the flaw was in their methods, not their intentions.
Their intention to disguise tyranny with so-called free institutions.
The average citizen in a society of billions is never free, whether because of tyranny or simply because of the contrast between his small size and the size of the government.
We plan to give people a sense of freedom and a prosperous world. In practical, historical terms, that's about as good as it gets.
Be there for us, Alex. The critical time is approaching. The old order is generally recognized as the high point of civilization. We simply want to revive it. Decide where you stand, Alex. It won't be long before you have to choose. JC Denton did what the Illuminati asked. He destroyed Bob Page, the leader of MJ-12. Don't be tricked into believing that the Ilios-JC hybrid is true to JC. It might have its own agenda. One driven by a well-disguised machine intelligence. I have business to attend to.
You grew up in hard times, Alex. Don't let that make you into a cynic. Order will prevail. It always does, whether the cause is mystical or merely secular. I can't believe that madman Saman has transformed the Rockstadt Church into a barracks. Help us put the world back together, Alex. I can't believe that madman Saman has transformed the Rockstadt Church into a barracks.
Meanwhile, we have been accused of theft, which is ridiculous.
We were only following Lumenon Saman's directives. We had no idea it would come to this.
The Nine Worlds is
So you want me to disarm in the middle of a war zone?
No, you've just got to consent to the standard deactivation procedure before entry. I'll transmit the encrypted safety lock bytecode, which will effectively freeze all your weapons. Sensors at the exit will automatically reactivate everything you're carrying when you leave.
Here you go.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on in.
I provide defense should the need arise. Traders handle the business.
Would you like to make a purchase?
No thanks.
It is foolish to pass up this opportunity, but that is your choice.
The whole reason I joined the Order was to get away from factory model thinking.
Ready to fly?
I need to go to the Raustadt area.
That's a pretty scabby part of town, mostly abandoned factories. The Order renovated the cathedral, but man, a lot of ways to end up dead in the Raustadt.
Precisely why I'm hiring you. You can handle a hostile insertion, right?
Handle it? Sid Black invented the term hostile insertion. I'll meet you outside the tavern.
I found Her Holiness. Turns out she's Nicolette Duclair, an Illuminatus.
Of course she is. That was my precise purpose in sending you to save her, so that you would believe me when I say that we face a great danger. The Illuminati have been very successful at reshaping the post-collapse world. Control of our technology would allow them to create a hand-picked ruling elite.
How can they simultaneously support the ideals of the Order and the commercialism of the WTO?
The Illuminati have always sought just one thing: centralization. Centralization of wealth, power, and ideology. The implementation details are unimportant.
So they centralize wealth with the WTO and ideology with the Order. What about power?
That they hope to get from us. Work with our charming co-conspirators just a little while longer. When you have the sequencing module for the gate, you will be free to contact JC on your own. Extraordinary times, my young friend. We are about to see the rebirth of global civilization. What form it takes will shape human history for centuries. JC's vision 2 decades ago was far ahead of our means to implement it, but that is about to change. The rest of your questions will be answered in due time.
Meanwhile, we have been accused of theft, which is ridiculous.
Panzerworks finally reached their breaking point.
What took so long? I'm falling asleep out here.
Probably the beer. Sure you can fly?
Bosh, let's rip.
I'm ready.
Lovely. I already scouted the area. Get ready for a tight squeeze on the ground.
Blessed be, blessed be.
Something wrong?
Demons, catch me!
Sorry, never mind.
First, they run me out of the Lord's house, then they chase me out of the tunnels.
You used to live at the cathedral?
I was the last believer. Then the cultists moved in. I went back once, through the basement tunnels. That's how I saw the ritual.
A secret entrance to the cathedral?
It was for utilities. Then the canal dried up and you could get in from outside. One of these times, I'm gonna set a fire.
Like I said, a pretty scabby part of town.
Pretty much abandoned except for the church to the northwest. Maybe one of the squatters knows the area.
Belief needs no ornaments. Never cower from the truth. His time will come again. Belief needs no ornaments. Never cower from the truth.
Hey, are you one of the workers from that factory? Under the canal? My mom said to see if you need a message boy. We need the credits.
Sorry, I don't work there. You said it's a factory in the canal? What else do you know about it?
It's definitely a secret base of some kind. Guys in uniform moving in weird machines in the middle of the night. If you want to get in and check it out, I can tell you where all the guards are.
Sure, tell me about the guards. I have a map of the area and you could show me.
Okay, I'll mark where they are. Just give me enough credits for a doctor's visit. My mom's sick.
This isn't a scam, is it?
Honest, we really need the money.
Here's the money to mark the map.
Here you go. My mom said this map would get me in trouble. Boy, was she wrong. Hey, thanks. My mom's been kind of down since we got kicked out of our house. Maybe we can get an apartment now. I'm gonna do this kind of thing when I grow up. I'm gonna be a pro. I'm gonna do this kind of thing when I grow up. I'm gonna be a pro.
Signal disruption. Pattern match highly probable. Cause of death identified. Light explosive detected.
Must be imagining things. Hello?
Purity and heart.
Too bad you're no Talon. Down goes another. You're there, aren't you?
All hits sneak up on us. The zone seems to be clear now.
Hello?
Good day. By the skull sight is limited, freak.
Purity will prevail. What was that?
You're inside. Good. The sequencing module should be stored on someone's private tray.
Hello?
Or when you
By the skull sight.
command area.
All right,
There's been a...
vulnerability.
Tarsus tracking report 1242, Clara Sparks. She is naive, but loyal. She's allied herself with the WTO, who've placed her high in the ranks, owing to her abilities. Intel suggests that Dumier has recognized her special abilities as well, and seems to be treating her as a special protege. She was last seen in Trier, dispatched for security for the Order WTO Summit.
Tarsus tracking report 1351, Leo Jankowski. Last seen in Cairo among the Omar. First assassination attempt unsuccessful. He is still alive. Unclear the nature of his relationship with the cyborgs. Appears to be a simple mercenary, but the Omar will study his biomod technology. Recommend upgrade to Omar threat classification.
Tarsus tracking report 4117, Alex D. There are concerns that D may be the greatest threat among his peers. Last seen in Cairo, questioning Layla Nassif for the WTO. Intel suggests that he now has objectives in Trier. This makes it imperative that we get our agent through the gate immediately and shut it down. Tarsus tracking report 1242, Clara Sparks. She is naive, but loyal. She's allied herself with the WTO, who've placed her high in the ranks, owing to her abilities. Intel suggests that Dumier has recognized her special abilities as well, and seems to be treating her as a special protege. She was last seen in Trier, dispatched for security at the Order WTO Summit.
Good. Now meet your pilot outside and return to Trier. We're going to find out if this teleportation device really works. I'll meet your pilot outside and return to Trier. We're going to find out if this teleportation device really works.
You aren't so special anymore, Denton. Maybe you remember Billy Adams.
Lumen Simon, where are you?
She's as much Denton as you, thanks to the Apostle Core infusions. I sent her through the teleporter to locate and kill JC.
And I'm right behind her.
About 3 hours behind, if my clock is right. I now know where the teleporter takes its passengers. My people are closing in on JC's sanctuary this very second.
Your enemies know who you are. You can't hide for long.
Little do you realize how vulnerable they will be if I can use JC's power against them. I can remain hidden long enough for Billy to complete her assignment. Then it will be your turn to hide.
Tracking and reporting intrusion.
Belief needs no ornament.
Alex, stop. I have something to tell you about Chairman Dumier.
Yeah?
I can hardly believe it. He doesn't really work for the WTO. The whole organization is a sham.
I know.
You know? But he told me not to tell you. What's going on?
I'm not sure. He and Nicolette Duclair admitted everything to me. He wants me to go through the Apostle Core teleporter that connects to JC Denton's sanctuary. Only the trainees can use it. Billy already went through on a mission for the Templars.
Billy? A Templar? Wow, am I the only one without a secret alliance?
Billy's been working for the Templars all along. She single-handedly brought down Apostle Core and helped destroy her home city.
I could go through the teleporter too, right? I wonder why Chairman Dumier ordered me to stay here and secure the church.
Maybe you should follow me to Antarctica. Billy would hardly be a match for both of us.
I don't know. I think I'd better play it safe right now.
Are you sure?
Chairman Dumier is watching me very closely. I'd better stay behind. Besides, I still believe in the WTO, just not its leader. I don't see any reason to make trouble. I'll have more influence on the WTO from inside the ranks. Most WTO personnel believe in the original charter. The organization as a whole can prevail against one man. I have a job to do. I only talked to Billy briefly in Seattle, but I could tell right away that something was off. I'm still confused about why we were created. Maybe you'll find out something in Antarctica. Thanks for being honest with me, Alex. Somehow I know I can trust you.